Some of you might have seen my first attempt at trying to make my own skateboard rail. It worked, just not very good. Today's the day. We're making version 2.0. And I actually do think that I made enough mistakes from version 1 that I learned what to do differently. Completely off topic, but this is green now. It used to be red. I told you guys that it was gonna be different colored now. Okay. This is the second time this has happened, where when we first got the house painted and I showed you guys the color, I wore this same shirt, not intentionally at all. And I just did it again on accident, where the shop is now painted and I'm wearing a very similar green. That's pretty cool. It's not done yet, but I just wanted to show you. It looks black with this lighting. This is not helping my case. It's green, I swear. It's the same color as the house, so they'll finally match. And the doors are painted, because before the whole barn, we call it a barn because it was barn red, and the doors were unpainted. And I think with the doors painted and everything the same color for once, it looks really good. But that's not what this video is about. I'm finally able to open the, well, I guess I don't know if I'm allowed to open these, but I'm opening them. I hope I'm allowed to do that. I guess we'll see when I roll them back down. There have been a couple things that have changed since our first attempt. The first is that I got that cheap little Harbor Freight tube notcher. So hopefully we can avoid running into a hack job like version 1 had. 2, we learned that our penis feet were a little bit too flimsy. And there's two possible solutions to that. Solution number 1 is to use these sort of triangular brackets that the homie that built this rail used. I really am using this rail as like all of my reference points, my thought process, because this is, I bought a whole sheet of it, of course, because I thought it was gonna be thick enough. This is a 2x4 sheet of the material that we used for version 1. So I was kind of thinking, what if we just like doubled it up? Or is that just wrong? I don't know. It might not look pretty, but I feel like it'll work. This is gonna be an educational journey because I have never used the tubing notcher before, so we're kind of gonna see how this works. For the price that I paid for it, I'm not expecting it to be anywhere near perfect, but it's gotta be better than what I did by hand. I mean, in theory, we just tightened that in there, and I mean, I think we're mounted. I don't really know. Like I said, this is I'm gonna practice first, that's for sure. So you see the, do you see the vision? Do you see how that works yet or no? I know how it works in theory. I'm really scared to test it for some reason. Safety first. There, now we have a couple little practice pieces. I made a whoopsie. I put our little scrap piece of tubing in so I could test this, which I have a question about that I want to ask you guys in case someone knows. But the whoopsie we ran into is I got these T-nut things, because these are supposed to go in the table of the drill press so I can hold in stuff like this with the grooves. I really thought I measured it correctly, and I guess I didn't. It is so close to fitting. It doesn't fit, and I needed to get one size smaller of both the bolts and the T-nut things. This is gonna be super sketchy, but you'll see without that, this just spins. T-slot nut, that's what it's called, not T-nut. I guess I'm going to be returning I'm not ever gonna use this size T-slot nuts. I'm gonna return these. I have the correct ones pulled up, which is 3/8, because I think these were 1/2 inch. The measurement here, 0.85 inches wide, which will fit perfectly in there. I don't know how I messed that up, but those aren't gonna get here till Sunday, unfortunately. The question I had for you guys is, how do I know where the center of this hole saw blade is? Because that's what I want lined up with the end. I think I just answered my own question. I think I can literally take a ruler and actually measure it and mark it on the actual hole saw and then just line it up with that. Just because I'm trying to get it right in the center so I can notch it perfectly. Damn, okay, I really thought I came prepared, but it looks like we're not gonna be able to finish it today. We can get everything ready though and prepped for when that comes in. Okay, so here we... Really? God damn it. This is what happened last time. That's why we got this, I forgot. Okay, so what we attempted to do with version 1 was a rail sort of like that give or take, right? Those are gonna be the legs there. You can pop on, you can pop off, you can go this way, boom, skate it like a normal rail, or you can go on this way and kind of launch off like a kicker. I think A, that could just be like a really cool rail, but B, I'm getting my practice in with the tube bender. A lot of you suggested that I flip the rail upside down so it would be kind of like this, give or take, if that makes any sense. So you sort of like pole jam up it as opposed to launching off of it. That kind of got me thinking though. What if we did both of those? So we have like a pole jam up, we have a flat, and then we have a little launch ramp like that, and that is our rail. I mean, it's like super wonky and less practical than it is cool. That being said, I mean, we have that perfect flat bar that's already a flat bar, so why not try to utilize some of my tools and try to make something like that. Also, further down the road, I really want to make something like that, but I mean, we're gonna hold off on that. You get the vision though. I think that'd be so sick to have like a little rainbow, like double rainbow rail, or like pole jam up to flat to like hump to like we can make anything. This right here though, that's what I want to try to make today. We couldn't make the easier one first, so instead of trying again, we're gonna try to make it even harder. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to skate the rail today, but I think we should be able to get everything completely prepped and ready. This is pretty much everything we're gonna need. It really doesn't look that complicated. This 8-foot piece is gonna be what we put in the now portable tube bender. If you know, you know. This about 5-foot piece is the leftover from version 1, unfortunately, that we're gonna use to chop up and make the legs for this version. And this, we're gonna make the feet and the little triangular brackets, because I wanna make this thing good. I want to take every mistake that we made with version 1 and improve on it. Sort of the whole purpose of this is to learn what we're doing and learn how to do it right, or more right than the previous time at least. So if we're using our brains here really quick, because doing the pole jam into the ground is where I start to get a little bit confused, just because there's like angles involved and that's more advanced than what I know what I'm doing. Our rail is going to be 1 foot tall. Let's start there. This is pretty straightforward. It's going to be pretty hard to mess this up. We are literally just going to cut 2 1-foot sections out of this for our legs. There is 1. And there's 2. And you know we're off to a good start when they're actually the same length. This is where my brain starts getting a little confused, and I don't want to waste this steel. I don't know, and I don't know how to do this. This is a foot, this is a foot, right? These are our legs. Once those T-slot nuts and the bolts come in, we can notch this so that the rail will sit perfectly in it, just like how we didn't do with version 1. Where I get confused is with the upward kink, right? So if it's on top of it and it goes up like we had anticipated with version 1, it doesn't really matter how long it extends upwards. Like I can mark a foot and within a couple inches, it doesn't matter if it's longer or shorter. If instead of going up, it's going down into the ground, length matters a lot. If it's too long, see that's where I get confused because then it's not even necessarily the length, it's the angle. So like I straight up have to Pythagorean theorem it, except I can't Pythagorean theorem it because it's a tube bender. I'm not actually kinking it. So I'm so lost as to how to do this. We always just could not do it that way and just, you know what? I don't want to mess this up. Let's just do version 1 of the rail right, as opposed to trying to switch it up. We're only gonna do that upwards kink on this one. I gotta make something that doesn't suck, and then we can start trying to get more advanced with it. That being said, if anyone's watching this video that understands what I'm trying to ask as to like what calculations I need to make sure that it lines up perfectly on the ground to cut this at a 45-degree angle, make it is any of what I'm saying making sense? How do I do that? Okay, that doesn't matter right now. What matters is, and this can be a lot less precise like I was talking about, but I want like the last foot of the rail to kink upwards. It's not like if it was going down though, where it has to be perfect, so I mean that should be fine. Now this, we are going to have to plug in and get this thing started. Prepare your ear holes, ladies and gentlemen, because that's gonna be what we hear for the next 10 minutes. Well, that is pumping up. We might as well wheel over the bender because it's portable. Oh, look at that. I am so proud of this stupid little caster wheel mount that we made. I think it came out beautiful. I mean, look at that. It serves its purpose. It works perfectly. Now, we gotta feed the tube through the bender, something like that. Oh, Finally. I can't even hear my own thoughts. Okay, that thing is pressurized to 200. This thing is pressurized to around 110. Is it like 110 to 120 PSI is the working pressure for this long ram. Really quickly, I just gotta pat myself on the back for my just ingenious fabrication skills, because the number of people telling me it wasn't gonna work. Oh, but Garrett, if you put anything longer than 3 feet in the tube bender with legs that short, oh, it's just gonna topple over. Exhibit A. I can put pressure on. I mean, this is not going anywhere, dude. To those people's defense, the reason that this used to have to be bolted into the ground as opposed to being on casters is because it used to be a manual tube bender. So you can see here are all the manual parts for it, but it's since been converted to use this air or hydraulic or whatever this thing is. So because you're not like cranking it down by hand now, which you would need it bolted to the ground for, it works fine with just being on these casters. Also, again, kind of just thinking out loud here, because this is only my second time using the tube bender, so I'm trying to like educate myself as well as you guys. You can hook a little, this is kind of like the ghetto way to do it because I got this thing used, but you tape a paper clip in there and you angle that to 0 degrees right there. So then as this bends, you're following that paper clip and that's what's measuring your angle of bend. Because we're not going down into that pole jam like we were, where we would have needed a precise angle, we're just going up. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm also really curious, you can see there is my 1 foot mark, but I'm not sure if that's where it starts the bend, or like if it starts the bend here, or you know what I mean? I gotta figure that out. So again, this is kind of gonna be an educational bend. Kind of just gonna see what happens here. And I guess now I can actually finally film it, because with with version 1 of the rail, bro, picture the tube bender without this caster wheel base, right? Because we made that after version 1 of the rail. So it was just that part that gets bolted into the ground, except I never bolted it into the ground. So it's just that resting on the ground. It was so wibbly and wobbly. So I was manhandling the machine the whole time while I was trying to film it. It was so sketchy. So now I can actually kind of show you guys what it's doing while we use it. So essentially when I push this button, it sends air into that thing, which essentially like jacks it up, you know, it pushes this out. As this gets pushed outward, the 2-inch die kind of rolls around it. It sucks the tube inward and bends the tube that way. Did any of that make sense? So we pull this, and you can start to see it slowly moving, right? See it coming out of there. It's slowly bending the pipe. See how it's just ever so angled that way now. I say we get it to like there. I don't think I want it as aggressive as version 1 was. I want it to be like fun, not just a death trap. And that is slowly pushing outward and slowly bending the pipe. Let's pause right there. Let's see how that looks. So you can see that, I mean, if I had to guess, that's probably what, like a 20 degree bend maybe? Almost like a little bit more visible from this end. I feel like that's like a fun amount though. It's not as aggressive as this one was. You can see this one I went a little too steep with. It was still skatable, it's just more scary than anything. So I think I'm gonna just run this. All we do is loosen this so the jack starts sucking itself back off. Sometimes you gotta give it a little wiggle and jiggle. There it goes, look at that. Sometimes you gotta push it in all the way. Okay, so now we can kind of loosen everything up and take off everything, because we're gonna have to pull out our tube. Come to Papa! Can you guys see that? Hold on, let me show you on a better angle. Oh yeah, without a doubt, that is going to be way, way mellower and actually fun to skate. Sick, that actually came out good. I am curious though, I wanna find, oh yeah, see our mark line versus where it actually bent? I wanna measure that just so I know for future reference, because if I have to bend something precisely, like 1 foot in or whatever, I'm gonna have to change where I mark that. It looks like it's bending more like here, which totally makes sense. So I gotta remember to measure that. Anyway, rail part of the rail is done. I think that's gonna be super cool. Oh, we're done using the tube bender. Let me just roll it away, because we can do that. I'm telling you, best thing I've ever made. Well, it's the only thing I've made so far, but the best one too. Okay, so now we have our legs. One of them's gonna go there. The other one is gonna go roughly there. I'm gonna actually measure them to make sure they're even, but all we're missing now is the feet and the support brackets, or whatever we wanna call them. And that is where we get to put this bad boy to use. I love using this thing, I really do. For what I'm doing, it's still a little bit unnecessary, but I mean, A, I wanna get practice in on it, and B, it's just pretty fucking cool. I want to make a quick adjustment really quick. So I was going through and measuring this. It looks like pretty much exactly 3 inches until the bend starts. So 3 inches from there to there. Just for my own curiosity, because I want to see if 1 foot is a good number. Because with it this long, which would be what, 15 inches now? I'm worried that when you hit it there, there's going to be so much leverage that it'll lift that leg up. I want to try to make it an actual foot by trimming off those extra 3 inches because we mismarked this, and trim those 3 inches off the end here. So something like that, and then take it over to the chop saw. In theory, that should be exactly a foot now. And we have, can you guys see that? Pretty much exactly 1 foot of actual grindable rail before that bend starts. So cool, that is, that's exactly what we're looking for. I think it looks a little bit more proportionate now. Because I mean, if we have one of our legs there, and one kinda, again, wherever over there. I guess it really just depends on how heavy our feet are gonna be. Because I am worried about it lifting up that back leg. I guess we'll find out. Next step is to model and CAD and CAM program everything we're gonna need for the CNC plasma cutter. So as you can see, we're getting our flooring redone, and it's looking amazing, except there's just no furniture, which means that's gonna be my desk. And I thought it could be kind of fun. I did this once before where I showed my whole workflow, because I'm so new to all of this that I mean, I'm actually pretty much clueless, but I'm kind of figuring my way around it more or less, and by showing the way that I do it, I might be able to have some helpful people in the comments give me tips and tricks, because I'm finally able to like do it myself. I'm just not doing it the right way necessarily, but we got it done regardless. I'm not feeling super, I have everything on the laptop. I'm not feeling super confident about it. That's what's tough. It's like I felt like I was starting to get, I mean, comfortable is like a very loose word. I had 3 days of experience, but like comfortable, like sort of fumbling about the program, trying to get the hang of it. I took like 3 days off just because I've been so busy at the house and busy with work and busy with everything else. I took 3 days off of learning Fusion 360, and like hopping back into it, I just felt like clueless again, so that took way too long. And again, I'm not even like certain that I did it right, but I guess we're gonna find out. No idea if you even care, if you can try to follow this, but I'm essentially gonna be doubling up those feet like I was talking about to make them thicker, because I'm cutting it out of 12 gauge, which is pretty thin. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles, and these 2 are going to be 2 feet by 4 inches. This sheet is 2 feet wide, so it's gonna be 4 inches and 2 feet. So there's gonna be 2 of those. And then, sorry, this is probably, I mean, it's gonna be easier to cut it, but I wanna try to explain my process here. That's these 2 right here. These 2 are the same as those 2, but a 1/2 inch smaller on all 4 sides. So there's gonna be a little 1/2 inch like bevel around each layer, so I can sandwich them on top of each other and weld them together. I don't think it's gonna look great, but at this point, like I want a rail that skates. And then here are our little triangle brackets. I figured I might as well add a GG in there just to utilize the CNC machine. Why not? I believe that I have everything set right. I programmed it to cut, I think, and now it's just a matter of filling this bad boy with water and getting started. All right, I'm not, again, I think I said this already, I'm not feeling confident about this one, but I'm hoping for the best. Look how rusty the table is getting. Again, it's not the actual table that's rusty, because that's stainless steel. It's just all the debris that's rusting. It's supposed to do that, I swear. All right, and here goes nothing. And now we wait. I guess while we wait, we might as well hook up our air here. Guess it's time to actually turn this on, and fingers crossed. All right, and there we go. That's a full table right there. I changed one little thing. I rounded the corners just because why not? We have the whole sheet in there. I think we're good. I feel like I've said I think a whole lot of times for this. I don't know why I'm so like unsure of this time. Part of me is just like frustrated that we're not gonna be able to skate it today. I'm bummed that I bought the wrong little T-nut things. It's all good though. It is what it is. Without further ado, let's run it. And let's see if anything goes terribly wrong, shall we? I think this one is gonna take a while, so we'll kind of just like keep showing you the cut here and there and see how it goes.
It cut the GG out, which looks really cool.
Yeah, I think we might be good actually. No, we had our first incident. Oh no, it wasn't that bad. Oh man, we had, I believe it's called a tip up. When that triangle got cut, it tipped up and it touched the tip of the actual plasma cutter, so it caused like a short circuit or whatever. It stopped cutting that triangle there. Huh, okay, it's fine, everything's fine, but I gotta figure out how to resume this properly. Cutting voltage loss during last cut. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's skip this out. I mean, look at that. The actual triangle itself came out really good. I think if I click this, it'll start where it left off, but what I'm afraid of is there's gonna be like a 2-inch gap that never gets cut. This is kind of just an experiment. I'm gonna see what happens here. Yeah, all right, that's not right. We're gonna have a little bit of troubleshooting to do here. Okay, I'm like 90% sure that I solved part of the problem. What I did, I just removed the triangles for now, so all I'm doing is I'm cutting the rectangles.
Yeah, that one cut, it's doing that one right now. We have the 2 big ones after that.
I gotta figure out what to do with those triangles. I just wanna get the legs done. Dude, I had to stop it again. I don't know what's going on right now. It's not cutting all the way through. I mean, look at how, I don't know if you can see, some of those cuts are just so sloppy. It's not period. I'm forgetting a step somewhere, bro. I took 2 days off. God damn it, that's so much metal wasted. Okay, I think I found a workaround, but goddamn, I'm getting frustrated. All right, so let's get this out of here. I mean, yeah, it worked. It's cutting really sloppy right now, and I know it's not the machine's fault, it's my fault. You see all that like buildup, like it's called dross, and before I was getting really clean cuts. I tried replacing the tip, like I thought maybe the consumables were bad, and they were pretty toast, but I just put in like a new tip and everything, and I'm still getting, you know, not the best results. Okay, wait, this one was actually pretty good. So, I mean, maybe they're just like too big of pieces, so it's going through the consumables really fast. I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, we have all of the part. It just, I think I'm overly frustrated when I really shouldn't be, so let me just chill for a sec. Alright, if there's one lesson that I can take away from this, or like not just this situation, but kind of anything, frustration is bad. Frustration is a very bad emotion that leads to bad things, at least for me. I know everyone handles frustration differently, but the way that I handle it is by rushing and then therefore making mistakes. It happens in skateboarding, it happens if I'm working on my car, it happens clearly if I'm working on fab stuff. Time and time again, I noticed that because like right now I'm very frustrated, like nothing has gone right from the beginning, honestly. And because of that, I start just getting in my head, and then I have like this sort of, oh fuck it, like it's all going downhill anyway mentality, and that really doesn't help. In skateboarding, that's how you get injured. In stuff like this, that's just how you waste money and waste material, and I'm trying to acknowledge that and not let that happen. So I'm kind of, I'm doing my best to vocalize it and kind of acknowledge it, realize it, and while it has been going pretty bad so far, to be honest, everything is salvageable. It's all just stuff. Stuff can be replaced. Like that sheet of metal wasn't that expensive in the grand scheme of things. It's just more of like bumming me out, if anything. I'm a little confused why these pieces need so much cleanup though. That's what's kind of throwing me off. I'm gonna go through with the grinder, I can't even talk. I'm gonna clean everything up. All right, cleaned everything off to the best of my abilities. You can see this GG just got messed up. I think this is one of the first ones before I switched the consumables. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not, how do I even word this? It's not like the fact that the quality sucks that's what's pissing me off. It's the fact that I don't exactly know why. Because like, obviously, I'm so new to metalwork, 99% of the things I make are gonna suck at first. But like, kind of at the beginning of this video, I was talking about, I want to make mistakes so I learn how to fix them. And an example like this this. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know where I went wrong exactly. That being said, everything was salvageable. So we have all of our little angular brackets, all 4 of them cleaned up. These were rough, dude. I don't know what happened to these like long cuts, but there was so much dross on them that I had to grind away. I didn't worry about cleaning it up too much because the way they're gonna lay is one on top of the other, somewhat like that. Can you guys see that like at all? They're stacked on top of each other and I'm gonna weld them. So it's like, it's gonna low-key like kind of look like ass anyway. But let me lay this out. I think that's, you know, I guess we can weld this right now. Let me lay it out, make sure everything looks good. And then I wanna get everything done up until we get those T-nut butt things. All right, so more or less, this is the vision that I have for the legs. Obviously, one of the GGs is backward, which I kind of hate, but kind of like at the same time. I didn't think about that they're gonna be flipped, so I technically was supposed to mirror the GG, but it almost works, because depending on which way you're skating the rail, you're always gonna have, oops, damn it, god damn it. That's just how I feel right now. See how they're sort of inlaid though? So we have that smaller one on top of that bigger one, so it's gonna be twice as thick. Plus we have those brackets, so I think we're gonna get rid of that flimsy issue that we had. Then we got the rail itself. I'm just like, I'm in a mood. That's what I think. I'm just in like a, that's just how I feel right now, and I really shouldn't. I need to like take a step. Let me step outside for a sec. Oh, take a step outside and just realize what I have, and I can't be mad, bro. Look at that view, though. Look at that green shop, though. Oh, you know what, though? I didn't even film this. Remember how I said I was gonna leave this open? It broke. That's how that was before I even started filming, like right as I started filming. It broke. The chain slipped off the gear, and it's not as easy as just slipping it back on the gear. I'm really scared of this garage door for some reason. Like, it's very, lots of things can hurt me and chop off my fingers. I don't think it's gonna be the biggest deal to fix, and I think I should be able to do it myself. I don't have the mental capacity for that right now, but that, I forgot about that, like, that's how this video started, and everything from that point forward has just been. However, so I don't wanna glue all this stuff, or glue. I don't want to weld all this stuff together until I can get what I need to properly notch these, so we're still waiting for those. But I can get the feet ready, so I think what I'm gonna do is just weld these together and get this finished. Just cause we're here, what could possibly go wrong? I'm gonna regret saying that. I just tacked the corners on because knowing me, I'm gonna mess something up right now, so I'm making sure everything's good. And then we'll do this one. Okay. This for sure has some heft to it now. I don't know if you can see the thickness. This is not gonna bend. Famous last words. It's gonna be pretty damn overkill to weld all of that. So maybe I'll do like a line there, and a line there on both sides. At this point, like I'm just trying to get some practice in too. All right, and in we go. It's super like gunky. Maybe I didn't grind, like I didn't clean the metal good enough. Okay, I think we're done. Everything is set up for when we have all the right pieces now. Here's our feet. They look pretty god-awful with all the like stuff that formed. I'm gonna go over it with some steel wool, and then once I go over, once the whole thing's assembled, I'm gonna go over everything with paint. I'm not saying it's gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be a hell of a lot prettier than it is. You can kind of see the layout in which everything's gonna go, and like I said, these things are solid. Those are not bending. This is looking good. I think kind of despite everything that's happened today, I think I'm making it a bigger deal in my head than it actually is, and I mean, fingers crossed that it actually will come out and be skatable. That is reality. Dude, it's dark already, or the sun is about to set. This took all day. That is reality for you. Not everything works perfectly. Hopefully this wasn't excruciatingly boring to watch, and hopefully also someone can help me out in the comments. I know that a lot of you are much, much smarter than I am, and some of you actually do metal work and fabrication work professionally, and you've been so so helpful in the comments. That being said, we got everything done to the best of our abilities, and now we wait. I think Sunday is when it comes in, so we have a couple days. You think is tomorrow the day that we finally start the bump to bar, or what? I guess we'll see how we're feeling tomorrow. I'm tired. Thank you for watching. See you next video. Peace out.